What if I told you that one man became the King of England in just one single day of fighting? Not years. Not a long war. Just one day that changed everything forever. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true, and by the end of this story, you'll see exactly how William pulled it off and why people still talk about him almost 1,000 years later. William didn't grow up as a king. In fact, his childhood was really tough. People called him William the Bastard. That might sound like an insult, and it kind of was, but it simply meant he was born in a way that made things harder for him. Back then, being born outside of marriage made people doubt you. When William was still a young boy, his father died. Suddenly, he became the ruler of Normandy. But here's the problem: he was just a kid. And many powerful adults didn't respect him at all. Imagine being 8 or 9 years old and being told, "You're the boss now," while grown-ups around you are secretly trying to take your place. Some even tried to harm him or take his power away. But here's where William was different. Instead of giving up, he learned fast. He became strong, brave, and very smart. As he grew older, he fought back against anyone who challenged him. By the time he was a young man, he had full control of his land. And then he started thinking bigger. Across the sea was England, and William believed that one day, he should be its king. Now let's talk about England for a moment. The king there was Edward, known as Edward the Confessor. He didn't have any children, which was a big problem. Because if a king has no children, who takes the throne next? This created confusion and opportunity. William claimed that Edward had promised him the throne. But he wasn't the only one who thought he should be king. There was another powerful man named Harold. He was already in England, already trusted, and very strong. So when Edward died in 1066, Harold didn't wait around. He crowned himself king immediately. From William's point of view, this was like someone stealing something that was meant for him. And William wasn't the kind of person to just sit back and accept that. But here is where things get even more intense. The year 1066 was full of chaos. England didn't just have one problem, it had three. Different groups wanted to take over the country. Before William even arrived, Harold had to deal with a Viking invasion from the north. He quickly gathered his army and marched all the way up to fight them. And guess what? He won. But winning came at a cost. His soldiers were tired, injured, and exhausted. They had just fought a huge battle. And that's exactly when William decided to attack. This wasn't luck. This was smart planning. William had been preparing for months. He built ships, gathered thousands of soldiers, and waited for the perfect moment when his enemy was weakest. Then he sailed across the sea and landed in the south of England. Now imagine this: Harold had just fought a massive battle in the north. Suddenly, he hears that another army has landed in the south. He has no choice but to march his tired army all the way back down. No rest. No time to recover. This gave William a huge advantage. The two armies finally met on October 14, 1066. This battle is known as the Battle of Hastings. Harold's army took position on a hill. This was smart because being on higher ground makes it easier to defend. They formed something called a shield wall. Picture this: soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder, shields locked together like a giant human wall. It was very hard to break through. William's army attacked again and again, but at first, nothing worked. The shield wall held strong. But then William did something very clever. He changed his plan. Some of his soldiers pretended to run away. They acted scared, like they were losing. The English soldiers saw this and thought, "We're winning." So they broke their formation and chased after them. But that was the mistake. The moment the English left their strong position, William's soldiers turned around and attacked. The shield wall was broken, and everything became chaotic. And then came the moment that changed history forever. King Harold was killed during the battle. Some stories say he was hit in the eye by an arrow. We don't know for sure how it happened, but we do know that once he was gone, his army lost hope. When a king falls in battle, it's like the heart of the army stops beating. The soldiers began to retreat. The battle was over. William had won. In just one day, he went from being an outsider to the ruler of England. But winning the battle didn't mean everything was easy now. Many people in England didn't accept him as king. There were rebellions. People fought back. Some areas refused to obey him. So William took strong action. He built castles all across England. These castles were not just homes, they were powerful military bases. They helped him control the land and keep people in line. He also dealt with rebellions quickly and harshly. One famous example is something called the Harrying of the North, where he crushed resistance in a very serious way. It wasn't kind, but it worked. Slowly, people stopped fighting back. And on Christmas Day in 1066, William was officially crowned King of England. But here's the part that makes his story even more important. William didn't just take the crown, he changed England forever. He replaced many of the English leaders with people from Normandy. These new leaders spoke French, not English. That's one of the reasons why English today has so many French words. He also created something called the Domesday Book. It was a huge record of land, people, and wealth across the country. It helped him understand exactly what he controlled and how to manage it. And those castles he built? Some of them are still standing today, hundreds of years later. William's impact didn't end when he died. In fact, it continued for generations. Every king and queen of England after him can trace their family line back to him. That means his influence is still alive today. So what made William different from everyone else? It wasn't just strength. It was how he thought. He was patient. He waited for the right moment. He planned carefully. And when things didn't go his way, he adapted quickly, like when he used the fake retreat during the battle. He didn't just fight, he thought ahead. And that's why history remembers him not just as William, but as William the Conqueror. One battle can truly change everything, and William proved it. He didn't just win a fight, he changed the future of an entire country forever. If you enjoyed this story, you're going to love the next one, where we break down another unbelievable moment in history. So hit subscribe and let's keep learning together.